Since this is a continuation meeting, I'd like to call to order the Park and Rec meeting for September and ask for approval of the minutes for our July meeting, since we did not have a meeting in August.
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Tammy, announcements?
Announcements. Upcoming Board of Commissioners meetings will be held on Monday, September 13th and Monday, September 27th here at the Radnor Township Building. The next Radnor Township Board meeting will take place on Thursday, October 14th here at the Radnor Township Building.
Okay. Activities report.
Activities report for July and August. The Parks and Recreation Department's summer camp season has come to a close and went very well. Our department successfully provided an array of specialty and day camps that took place at various parks and facilities throughout the township. The Radnor Day Camp program was once again a big success at Radnor High School with over 200 campers ages 5 to 15. Summer Tot Lot was again a success as well at Ithan Elementary School with over 40 campers. Additional camps that took place this summer with great success included our new camp that took place at Radnor Activity Center at Sulpizio Gymnasium. That was our Sports and More camp. Other popular camps that we had were 4 youth and teen theater camps, 6 youth tennis camps, 2 create your own video game camps, geocaching camp, volleyball camp, 2 Harry Potter camps, 3 survivor camps, and 2 soccer camps. The exception to our overall success experience with the summer program lineup was the playground program. This program is going to continue to be evaluated for its continuation in 2011. I'd like to give a special thank you to all of the Radnor Day Camp, Summer Playground, Summer Tot Lot, and Specialty Day Camp employees for their hard work and dedication to each of their camp sites and for their contributions to the Radnor Township Parks and Recreation Department. The 2010 Summer Concert Series also experienced great success with over 1,500 people estimated in attendance. I also want to send out a special thank you to the Township Parks crew for their continued effort in helping us to set up for all of our summer camps and for our Summer Concert Series. We also had 2 exciting sellout trips this summer to see the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizens Bank Park and also to New York City to see the U.S. Open Tennis Championships. The Radnor Township Parks and Recreation Department is currently planning for the fall 2010 and early winter 2011. We're finalizing our fall 2010 recreation guide, which will be distributed to the offices at each school, Radnor Memorial Library, local post offices, area banks, and other businesses throughout the township. As new programs have been planned, they have been posted at our website at www.radnorparksandrecreation.com. The 33rd Annual Penn Medicine Radnor Run will take place on Sunday, October 31st. This major event is a 5-mile certified 1-mile fun run and walk that starts and finishes at the Radnor Township Building and benefits the American Lung Association. Registration is currently taking place. Please call our department 610-688-5600 for more information and to register. Our department has also been working in review of its current and past budget numbers. We're evaluating all areas of departmental operations and conducting financial analysis in preparation for the fiscal year 2011 budget and 5-year capital plan. The Radnor Activity Center has undergone floor maintenance and refinishing back in mid-August, and it looks great. The effort was coordinated with members of the Radnor Township School District maintenance staff, including Duncan Smith, who I'd like to give a special thank you to. I'd also like to take an opportunity to formulate a Radnor Skate Park Club that would work with our department and give input related to park operations, events, and programs. If anybody is interested in learning more or joining, please call our department. Radnor Township Parks and Recreation had received a grant from the DCED for park signage at Emlyn Tunnel and Clem McCrone Parks, and the project is currently has been awarded and is underway. Signage will entail 2 park signs at Clem McCrone Park, one that'll be at the Conestoga Road entrance and one at the Rockingham Road entrance, and 2 park signs will be at Emlyn Tunnel Park, one at the Garrett Avenue entrance and one at the northeast corner where there's pedestrian access. I presented these signs before the Design Review Board on Tuesday, August 17th, and they passed unanimously with the understanding that a cross-member bar or another tactile object or plantings would be installed between the two signs when they're posted adjacent to any walkways. Final agreements have been submitted, and we are in the process of issuing a notice to bid. Manufacturing is currently underway, and the installation is anticipated for early fall. I am continuing to work with members of the Garrett Hill community in evaluating installation locations for each park site. The Radnor Conservancy, Friends of Radnor Trails, and the Radnor Historical Society have been working with the Parks and Recreation Department to add 2 additional trail history signs to the Radnor Trail through donations. Greg Pritchard is currently working to finalize some of the last-minute details for those signs. On Monday night at the Board of Commissioners meeting on September 13th, John Fisher will be there to present a depiction of those signs and show and demonstrate them and talk a little bit more about the development of those signs. So I would like to pass along special thank you to Greg Pritchard and John Fisher for all of their efforts and dedication to the Radnor Trail history signage. The football field at Beauconnor Park was experiencing some water drainage issues from springs in the high water table. The parks crew had looked into this issue in order to try and find an underground drainage piping and determine if repairs could be made. Over the last few weeks, the field has been very dry, which has perhaps been due to the lack of rain. The far west end of the field is still not being used, and this issue is still being monitored. The St. Catherine's football team is going to continue to practice on it and use about 3/4 of the field, and their games are going to take place at Archbishop John Carroll High School. Radnor Township, along with the Delaware Riverkeeper Network, will also be applying for a grant through the PADEP to fund a project that would develop the master plan for West Wayne Preserve down on Conestoga Road. This plan restores the wooded wetland to the site, manages water from the site's watershed, creates a passive park area with excessive trails, views, and habitat, and restores the habitat to native and healthy specimens of trees and shrubs. For more information and updates on what's happening in our department, please be sure to check out our weekly reports that are updated at our website under the Featured Links division. That concludes my report for July and August. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. A couple of questions from me. The campers we had this year, were the numbers up or down from last year?
Overall, camp numbers at day camp had been down slightly, but we have experienced some camps, namely our theater camps and our survivor camps and our Harry Potter camps that have had outstanding attendance, which has actually elevated numbers quite a bit from last year. So although we have had some camps that have experienced slight downfalls, the converse of that has been that we've had camps that have been significantly higher. So we are working to evaluate those numbers closely. So I think overall we've experienced a little bit of a decline, but we've still maintained success overall in our programming for the summer.
Okay, great. Could the decline have anything to do with the fact of our communication to the people in the township vis-a-vis that we can't use the schools anymore to send home material to the kids?
I think that's had a significant impact. We've actually had a lot of parents that have contacted us in May and June as they were hearing camps were taking registrations, and they didn't understand why they didn't get any information. Normally it would go home in the backpacks of all of the elementary schoolers. So I think parents have given us some feedback that has indicated that they've missed the materials. Mm-hmm. We've tried to continue to boost our e-blast methods. We've continued to try to work closely with the school district to get on to their email blasts and communicate information. We've tried to continue to utilize our website a lot more fully in order to communicate that information. But I think that impact has been felt.
Thank you. Any other questions for Tammy on the activities report? Great job.
Thanks.
Great job. You hit with a lot of pressure all at once with the camp starting, and congratulations. You did a great job.
Thank you.
We're very proud of you. Shade Tree Commission, any report? School board.
Yeah, I can update you a little bit. Our last meeting, the most significant business item was the finalization of our program modifications and the resulting staff furloughs. 14 men and women, a mix of full-time and part-time teachers and staff are no longer with us. It was not. I would just like to tell you and tell the public that it's not been lost on any of us how difficult this is when it goes from numbers and trying to balance a budget to people's lives. Sure. And so we regret the impact on people who have served us very well. Moving along from that, we are still in active talks with the RTEA. The teachers are currently working without a contract, which expired at the end of August. School opened on Tuesday. As the reports that I have, which are informal, are that things went well everywhere, and we're happy about that. Of course, today is a school holiday, so the kids are not quite in the groove yet, but we'll get them back in there tomorrow. Discussions are still underway with the township regarding field maintenance of some of the district properties. I don't believe that has been pushed forward in a significant way, but we're still talking. So that would be it.
Thank you. Any questions on that?
When do we start getting nervous about the teachers not having a contract?
Not yet.
I mean, is there time frames or what?
There are no time frames. Like, what I can tell you is that we are still in discussions, and obviously everybody is interested in bringing them to a satisfactory conclusion. That's as much as I know, quite honestly, as I'm not part of the formal negotiating team. But we are still working and still meeting. And
okay, thank you.
Being in the summer, we have no other committee reports to speak of, but I do want to call the Fields Committee and say that within the next 2 weeks, we're going to set up a time and get together and meet. I think it's vitally important right now for us to get together for this for a number of reasons. First of all, the negotiation with the township, with the school district on field maintenance and getting all that stuff out of the way. Also, two, really taking a look and analyzing what we have and what we don't have as far as fields. A lot of our fields have been getting really beat up with this past summer. That was horrible, obviously with no rain or anything else of that. And we just really have to figure out what we have and what we need. If open space, my biggest fear, if open space all of a sudden comes available to us, and if we don't have a game plan, it's going to wind up being passive space and not space for athletic fields. So I think we really have to have a game plan and be aware of what our needs may or may not be and be able to present it. So we'll have the Fields Committee meet within the next 2 weeks and take care of that. Commissioner's update. Last thing John said to me as he walked out was the fact that he really wanted us to take a look at just the things we were talking about before, the comfort stations, and we've done this 7,000 times maybe over the last couple of years, but let's do it again, okay? And I think most of us feel the same way as far as a pecking order of comfort stations and what has to be done in the township, but let's just put our minds together on this, and between now and next meeting, I'll send out a couple emails. Let's get some input and feels and what you thought. If you guys have not had a chance to see some of the comfort stations in the area, please, 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 take the time and visit them. I'm going to stress again, Fenimore is to me the biggest concern around for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's in total disrepair. Second of all, it's, to me, a major safety hazard. If anybody's aware of that, where it is, it's set off in the back, as I was saying before. Once you walk into the place, it's very dark. There are 4 rooms off to the right and left, okay, that are just rooms, okay? And, you know, God knows what could be in them or what can't be in them. And then there's a restroom right straight ahead in a very dark area. It's a very, in my mind, a very dangerous, very susceptible place for a problem to occur, besides being in total disrepair. So please take a look at that and get your opinions. And if you have any other thoughts about any other areas in the township, I'd appreciate that feedback too. Tammy sent out a list, and basically it's all the things that have to be done, and hopefully we can get a lot of these things done. Sulpizio is something that will come up in the field committee report. We have to really look at that. We have to really take a look at Sulpizio and give some feedback to the commissioners on this. A lot of money was put into it. Are we ever going to get the return on investment on it? What can we do to make it worthwhile? Is it just a basketball court? Okay, can other things be done to it? Is it possible to it? I don't know. I think that's something the Fields Committee really has to sit down and do some hard research on that. Okay. With that in mind, any other old business?
Tom, just one quick footnote to the school board report.
Yep.
In our minutes from last meeting, we noted the resignation of Dan Surface. I think we're welcoming a new AD, are we not?
Yes, we have. He is already working and started, and I'm blanking on his name, and forgive me for that. Mike
Friel.
Friel, thank you. Mike started. We are delighted to have him, and reports are that everyone's very enthusiastic. He's got a background as an English teacher and as a lacrosse player. And so the lacrosse players in my house are happy.
Great, thanks, Joe. Any new business anybody wants to discuss? Any comments?
I think we need to appoint a volunteer to the Shade Tree, to attend the Shade Tree meetings.
So you guys
Would
let
anybody
Tom know
like
that.
to volunteer to go to the Shade Tree meetings?
I think what everybody will do is take a look at their schedule and get back to you.
Take a look at it? Okay, thank you.
When is the next meeting?
Yeah, send out a calendar when the meetings
Can
are.
you send,
Yeah,
can you send out an email?
email with the.
I can do that, certainly.
That'd be great. Thank you, Tim. Move to adjourn?
A couple things before you do that, I just want to point out. First of all, I want to thank my staff in the Parks and Recreation Department, specifically Leah McVeigh, who has given me significant support over the last few months, just in light of our recent transition. So I want to point that out. We also have a part-time staff person that we've been fortunate enough to retain, who came to us as an intern back in December of '09, who's been helping us out on a part-time basis, just with updates to the websites, just processing registrations, dealing with day-to-day phone calls. Her name's Katie Diamond. She's a Penn State graduate. So I want to thank her as well. Those two have supported me significantly with the leaps and bounds of additional workload that we've entailed over the last few months. And also want to thank the staff in the township as well, who've given me support, who've tried to work with me, give me information that I've never had or dealt with before, and it's been greatly appreciated as we've made our way along this new journey. And I also would like to thank all of you. I think you've been very receptive and supportive in me in this role, and I appreciate that as I continue to find my way. So I want to reach out and say thank you to you guys as well.
Thank you. Again, great job.
Thank you.
Move to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.